Well, you would think if you're playing in a Little League ballpark, you could do better than 2 hits and no runs. But apparently Mr. Woodward and the Texas Rangers can't. So the Yankees score 5 runs in 3 games. Terrible offense, and yet they win the series. Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
And you know why?
Great pitching.
Great pitching.
They're a pitch first team. I've been telling you that all year.
They're a pitch first, we're going to make the plays on defense kind of team. They have 13 hits in a 3-game series.
It's embarrassing.
They score 5 runs in a 3-game series.
It's embarrassing.
They go 1 for 15 with runners in scoring position.
Embarrassing.
But they win 2 out of 3.
That's the beauty of it. First American League team to 20 games. The Mets, of course, first National League team to get 20 wins, I should say, yesterday. So here we sit. Yankees, Mets, Yankees, right at the top of the mountain.
It's a good place to be. And think about this, because Craig and I were watching this game like it was a science experiment.
We didn't miss a single pitch of this game.
Now, there were some times I had to wake up Craig and remind him there was a game going on.
It was boring.
But I reminded him about 2 things.
Hey, mate.
And I even said to you, but if the Yankees win, no one will remember this. And it's the fact that Josh Donaldson was lazy and DJ LeMahieu was lazy.
LeMahieu's was worse, too.
They were both bad.
Yeah.
They both hit ground balls. They didn't run hard. I think on the Donaldson case, there was a bobble, but he wasn't running hard, so he was thrown out by a mile. On DJ's case, the throw was off. The first baseman couldn't find the bag, but he wasn't running hard. But here's the beautiful thing. When you've got Nestor Cortez and you've got Clay Holmes and you've got Aroldis Chapman and you allow nothing, you could somehow win a game despite lazy base running and only scoring 1 run.
Yeah, no-hitter through 7. Aaron Boone decides to bring him back and said there was no option. He was coming back to pitch. And then prior to that, about I think it was the 6th inning, so well before he gave up the little innocent single, somebody on our staff decided to walk around the entire building and announced to everybody, just in case they didn't know, Nestor Cortez has a no-hitter through 6.
That's right.
Nestor Cortez has a no-hitter through 6.
Yeah.
Because you can't help yourself.
Because I love baseball.
Douchiness just is part of your DNA.
Why?
That's what it was, man. I'll tell you why.
What?
Because if it was a Met, you wouldn't have said boo.
First of all, let me walk you through this. I started this in the 5th inning, okay? So it was very, very early on. And I wasn't telling the newsroom or telling the sales staff that Nestor had a no-hitter to jinx him. That's the mistake you made.
That's exactly why you did it. You wanted them to be aware so they could watch it?
Correct. I wanted everybody to be aware. It's why I even tweeted the video out there. I wanted the world to know, hey, something special's happening at Yankee Stadium. Because, Craig, there was only 500 people there.
Yeah, it was a tough game attendance-wise because of the rainouts and the changes. It's Monday, all that stuff.
Completely understandable.
Yeah.
So I wasn't being a jinx. See, that's your negative attitude. You think I'm trying to jinx the New York Yankees. I'm not trying to jinx them. I just wanted the world to share the joy I had of watching, which early on was a double no-hitter. We had a double no-hitter.
3 we did.
With John Gray and Nestor Cortez. And then when John Gray got hurt, he had to leave the game, whatever. But I was into the no-hitter. I just wanted to share my joy with everybody else.
No,
what's wrong with that?
Douchey jinx is what you are. I hope you don't pick the Rangers to win tonight. I can tell you that right now.
Oh, they're a lock to win.
But if you're leaving Yankee Stadium, love to hear from you. 877-337-6666. We talk a lot when it comes to the Mets and Yankees about, a year ago they would have lost this game. I know we've said that a couple times this year for the Mets and the great job that Buck Showalter's done. That's what today felt like.
With the Yankees?
Yeah. Because the offense has been stagnant the entire series. What'd you say, 13 hits the entire 3 games. Only 5 runs over the course of 3 games. And yet it's another series win.
Yeah.
Like they had no business winning these series based on their offense. And a year ago, we would have come on today. It would have been the soulless, boring, we can't wait to get out of Dodge, New York Yankees.
So what's the difference then in your mind?
The difference? Pitching.
Yes. I mean, when you sit here and try to figure out how the heck are the Yankees 20-8?
Pitching.
They're pitching so far this season, and they're not going to keep this pace up.
Why not?
Because they have a 2.5 ERA.
That's right. The Dodgers' ERA is better.
But as you even pointed out a few weeks ago, you can't find a modern team over the last 40 years that got through a full season with a team ERA as good as that.
It really is improbable to think this will continue, but here's the deal. You cash in when you can.
Yes.
And right now, the New York Yankees, much like the Mets, you're cashing in when you can.
And here's what makes the Yankees pitching even more dangerous. Earlier this season, when they were pitching well, they weren't getting a lot of innings out of their starting pitching. So they were being overly reliant on what was a very deep bullpen. As we've seen the last couple of days, Garrett Cole demanding going out there for the 7th inning. And despite giving up the home run, Garrett Cole looks like an ace, does he not?
All of a sudden, Garrett Cole's had a good month.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
And even today, I know
there's no
hitter.
I believed in him.
No, you're right. More on that later.
I never wavered once on that guy.
No, he's not an ace. Traded for Marcus Stroman.
Well, listen, listen. I'm in a tough spot. I am paid to turn things around.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's right. It's in my contract.
Hey,
every now and then I got to be the bad guy to get a guy to start playing well. So you're welcome.
So Craig suggested trading Garrett Cole for Marcus Stroman.
I did.
When anyone has a second, anybody can
do
this.
That. Please don't do that.
Look up Marcus Stroman's ERA.
Oh, you did it.
Compare it to Garrett Cole.
Please don't do that.
And then get back to me.
Has Stroman gotten out of the 5th inning yet this year? I'm not sure if he has or
not.
But
what I loved about today, and yes, a no-hitter had everything to do with it, Aaron Boone let Nestor Cortez pitch.
And said it was never, he was going.
But why should a no-hitter be the reason to do that? On a day like today, what was so impressive is that Cortez got into trouble in the 7th. He got out of it, and he still allowed him to start the 8th inning and get the first guy out. And I thought he was going to get through because, remember, he got ahead of that Eli White 0-2. I thought he was going to get the first two outs without breaking a sweat.
If he doesn't get the double play ball there at the end of the 7th, who knows what happens? Obviously the rest of the 7th, and then pitch count to even come back for the 8th. But Boone said it was not he even said if he was at 115 pitches, he was going to let him try to get the no-hitter.
Aaron was showing you a loyalty to the no-hitter, but the side effect of this is that the Yankees have a deep bullpen, but they also have a strong belief that they don't want to overwork their bullpen.
Well, it makes sense.
That's why the Yes Network always shows a very relevant bullpen stat card of pitches thrown by relievers.
To be fair, it wasn't a no-hitter. But Aaron Boone did the same thing for Garrett yesterday.
Yeah, but that's Garrett Cole.
Yeah, but it was not a no-hitter.
It was not.
One-run game. It obviously didn't work. He gave up the solo home run.
When you do
but he gave him a chance to get some legs.
No, and what's great about that, even though it didn't work in Garrett Cole's case because he gave up the game-tying home run, it allows your bullpen to not be completely overworked. Because your fear is, as great as this pen is, Michael King finally looked human the other day. By the time we get to August, September, October, are these guys going to be burnt out? Well, if you can get, every once in a while, 7 1/3 out of Nestor Cortez,
take it, embrace it.
That goes a long way to keeping that bullpen fresh.
I will say this. Today's game is great. Listen, anytime you win, it's great. Having Cortez flirt with a no-hitter, fantastic. But there's an aspect of it, I have to admit, Evan. While I was watching the game with you on TV, and thank you to your father-in-law for catering our lunch today. I don't know what I was eating, but it was delicious. There was an aspect of it where I felt bad. I got emotional.
By the way, it was tacos de birria.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but
it's pork and beef marinated in spices with pico de gallo and hot sauce. Thank you, honey, for writing out a note of what it was.
It was delicious.
It was awesome.
Thank you to Jose.
Thank you.
Your father-in-law. Great chef, and the lunch was great. I got emotional.
About what?
I got emotional in the 6th inning, specifically.
In the 6th inning?
Yeah, Cortez gets through the 6th. He's got a no-hitter still.
Right.
He's 9 outs away from, Yankee immortality, right?
Right.
And it dawned on me, think about the thousands of people that had a ticket to the original game that couldn't go to the game. Not to say that it would have gone the same way. Clearly it wouldn't have. Who now are sitting at work on a Monday afternoon, and they're watching Cortez flirt with a no-hitter.
Yeah.
And they couldn't use their tickets from the originally scheduled game.
Yep.
I felt for that.
No, that's a fair point.
I felt it in my soul.
That's a fair point.
Because there's 1,000 people in the ballpark, as expected, even though it's a beautiful day, because you got rained out twice this weekend. And there's 30,000 people who had a ticket to that game, who had to sit there and either watch it or listen on the radio, who are saying to themselves, damn you!
You're right. You're right, because when David Wells pitched his perfect game, it was a packed house. When David Cohn pitched his perfect game, it was a packed house. And when Johan pitched his no-hitter and the Mets had their team no-hitter, it wasn't a packed house, but if you were going to go to the game, you were going to go to the game. You weren't affected by anything else. You know what I mean? Like, if you had tickets, you had tickets. It would have been odd for Nestor Cortez to complete this. And as we said and saw from Boone, he was going to get a chance to go 9.
And have nobody there.
It would have added to the story, I'm sure. But it would have been sort of sad that only, 1,500 people, or whatever the official number is, would have actually seen it happen.
So I got emotional on your behalf, fans, the fans that couldn't go. And yes, I'm embarrassingly doing everything in my power to make sure I get nominated for the Pulse of the People Award.
That's why you said that?
Yeah, that's kind of why I said that, yeah. Like, I didn't shed a tear, but it did, it did cross my mind that there's a lot of people who couldn't go to the game.
So we are now going to have to deal with, over the next month or so, or a few weeks, of you
whoring myself out.
Whoring yourself out to win this award?
I just want to get nominated.
Oh, just to be nominated for the award.
Yeah, this Friday, the next 2 nominees will officially be announced. And I heard a rumor, Evan, that is going to blow your mind. I heard a rumor of a potential nominee that is going, your head's going to explode.
Well, it better not be one in particular person, because he's on my S list. And at some point today, I know you're not ready for it, but at some point today, I'm going to unload on this guy. It better not be. Go
ahead.
Lou Lamoriello.
No, it's not.
Good. Now go on. Who do you got?
Lou Lamoriello.
Yeah, you see this crap today?
No.
No?
Well, I mean, firing Trotz?
The best head coach of this town got fired.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it would be. Yeah. Okay. What?
Is that a problem?
It's a major problem.
All right, we'll get to it later.
A major problem.
We're going to talk to some Yankee fans
I haven't gotten to it yet. I just wanted to make sure
it's a big problem.
You knew.
Yeah,
yes,
I'm
I've got
aware
a problem.
of it. My niece sent me a text. I want to come on the radio.
Yeah, because she's pissed too.
She is pissed. Yeah, maybe later today. We'll see.
And I don't want to hear about Robbie Fatorik. Don't give me a story about Robbie Fatorik and Larry Robbins. I don't want to hear anything.
Maybe we'll get to it tomorrow.
I know we're going to get to
it. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow.
We're going to get to it.
Maybe, we do a podcast.
We're going to get to it when I feel like getting to it. It's just not now because I'm still boiling.
Okay.
Yes, it's building.
It's boiling. Everyone's boiling over.
Yes.
All right. Very, very good.
The last thing I expected was to be this pissed off about hockey today, but I am.
Who saw that coming, right?
Not me.
Greatest coach in New York. I guess that distinction now goes to Aaron Boone. Thank you. Here's Timmy in Milford, Connecticut. Timmy, what's going on, kid?
Hey, fellas, what's happening, man?
What is good? Go.
All right, so let me tell you, I was at the game today.
Okay.
On a whim. I was driving back from Delaware. I saw my mother for Mother's Day. I turned the fan on right before the George Washington Bridge. I said, oh, my God, it's a Yankee game today. And I listened to John.
That's awesome.
He says it's a chilly day at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, but I think that's great. Like, you have nothing else you have to do today. You could willy-nilly decide at 12:45, F it, I'm going to the Yankee game. Good for you.
Let me tell you, 15 minutes after I heard it, I was in the stadium popping a cold one.
Awesome.
I was excited. I was like, this is amazing. Let me tell you, I paid more. I paid 3 times for parking than I did for the ticket.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm not surprised.
The ticket cost less than a beer. It was great. 19 cents.
And I assume nobody gave you a hard time based on where you wanted to sit. Like, you could have picked your own section today, yeah?
So this is what I say. I said, I need an aisle seat, cheapest aisle seat. And it was like section 406 or something. There's no one there. I was like, all right, I can't go up there. But then I'm in the outfield. You'll probably pretty much go anywhere. But it was such a nice day. But I want to
beautiful day, a near no-hitter, a Yankee win. I mean, it's all good through and through.
And got to do it on a whim.
Now, there was one thing I got a lot of complaints about today. As nasty Nestor Cortez is coming off the field after giving up his first hit of the game in the 8th inning. On our radio station, Susan Wallman said something to the effect of, and let's take a moment to hear the Yankee faithful giving nasty Nestor Cortez well-deserved ovation.
Standing ovation.
I don't know exactly the word she used. Maybe we'll hear it here in a second. But I thought it was apropos of a great performance, right?
Sure, yeah.
But then apparently she wouldn't let you hear the ovation.
Why?
Well, I haven't heard this yet. A lot of people are tweeting me about it. Hey, you got to check it out. You got to check it out. So the guys checked it out. So is it legitimate? I'm being told it's legitimate.
Oh, boy.
So do you have it from her saying, let's listen in? All right, so I've not heard this yet, but let's find how it went when Susan asked the audience to listen in. as the Yankee faithful applaud their starting pitcher.
Let's listen to the ovation for Nestor Cortez. Standing ovation. No better than even. But what a performance he just did. The Yankees are all applauding. The fans are standing and applauding here.
You're talking. How can we listen into it when you're talking over it? Play it one more time.
Let's listen to the ovation for Nestor Cortez.
Let's stop with that.
Standing ovation.
Let's listen into the ovation, which, by the way, it's not a lot of people there, but they're trying to be loud.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that radio broadcast. Let's listen in on the ovation. Go.
Let's listen to the ovation for Nestor Cortez. Standing ovation. No better than even. But what a performance he just did. The Yankees are all applauding. The fans are standing and applauding here.
You didn't let us listen.
There was no listening.
What happened to the let's listen in part?
We didn't even get like a full second of listening.
How could we listen in if you're talking over the ovation that we're supposed to be listening in on? You want to hear something crazy? I was told that she's being nominated for Pulse of the People.
No way, really?
That's what a little birdie told me.
Susan?
I heard a little leak that Susan Waldman
Well, first of all,
might be nominated for Pulse of the People.
What is going on with the leaks from the Pulse of the People? I mean, they're leaking like the Titanic,
Yeah,
dude.
I think I'll tell you what it is.
What is it?
They've gotten very big lately.
Right.
They're kind of like John Boy Media. All of a sudden, they raised a couple dollars. They think they're hot stuff. They got a lot of opportunities now in the media.
Right.
They're doing shows everywhere, right?
Right.
And, you let things fall through the cracks sometimes.
Wow.
Yeah. So my gut is as they've grown exponentially and become a verified, like, Twitter account.
Sure.
They probably hired too many people too fast. And they're letting some things fall through the cracks.
Are they going to have any nominee not get leaked out? I mean, so far they're 2 for 2, and if we're right about
we
the
don't
Susan
know about
leak,
the Susan thing.
No, but we know about the first two with Steve Cohen and Stu Feiner. They're 2 for 2.
Yeah, 2
if
for
the
2.
Susan thing's right, they're batting 1,000 on leaks.
Yeah, well,
crazy.
that's just a name that I heard floated about.
Do you think this moment hurts her, though? Because she really didn't get the people a chance to listen.
I'm not sure what moment helps her. But, again, maybe, people love listening. So that's why she's going to be nominated. Maybe she's not being nominated. It's just a name I heard bandied about earlier today.
I could see her the more I think about her being a good nominee. Remember, how many times does she have to correct John and say, hey,
yeah, she's doing the audience
It was
a solid
caught.
by
It was
saying,
caught, John.
Maybe it's not a home run because it's in his glove. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's new rule baseball. If the outfielder catches it, it's not a home run. So maybe she's getting bonus points for that, Evan. I don't know, but there's a little thing I heard today.
It's a little birdie.
Little birdie flew by and said, Susan Woman. Yeah, something like that.
Wow.
Here's Bill in Long Island on the fan. Billy, what's going on?
What's up, boys? How we doing?
All good, kid.
What's up?
So I'm a little concerned with the Yankees. I really think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors right now. I don't see the bullpen holding out all year long like this. I think it all started from when we traded Gallo, and now you
Hold
see
on,
that.
is your premise here that the Yankees aren't going to be good this year?
I think they're going to be pretty much right around the same as they were last year, and if not a little worse.
You know they've played games that count this year, yeah?
I got you. I definitely think they're playing well. I get you. I understand that right now, but
Okay.
I just don't think in the long run.
Okay, so let me ask you
as
this.
good as we were last year.
You're certainly welcome to your opinion. How many games would be enough for you to say, okay, this is the Yankees?
I would say a little bit before the All-Star break. You give me another month of this, and I'll definitely...
So they've played 30 games, essentially. They're 20-8, I think it is now, right? Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So, all right, so for you, they need to play 60 games for them to be real?
I would say 60 games is definitely a good...
Okay, so here's the question. And I'm not saying their ERA is going to be 2.5. It probably won't be. But let's say they replicate the first 28 and they're 40-16.
Then you believe.
At that point, is it enough?
No, you can't deny that. You know?
Okay, all right.
No, there's going to come a point.
Like the way from the beginning. We got Gallo, and then you see.
Yeah, but wait, Bill.
Get two guys.
Bill, is the issue they're not scoring enough runs for you? Is that really just what it comes down to?
100%. 100%.
Okay. And look, this is the thing. This is the thing we wrestled with. This is the thing we wrestled with a few weeks ago and you were actually on the side of a guy like Bill saying Yankee fans won't fully embrace a pitching first kind of team.
Not out of the gate they won't. But here's the thing.
Well,
so
that's
Bill,
exactly what Bill is saying.
But it's crazy talk. At some point, even me, you have to say, hey, they're 20-8. That's real. So I'll give you an example.
I just thought Evan had a really good point before also with the bullpen saying that these guys aren't going to last.
He didn't say they're not going to last. He said you have to be judicious sometimes with how often you use them.
It's why the last 2 days with Cole's performance and Cortez's performance are so important to have guys and have days where you can get a starter go 7 or 8 innings. And look, the other thing that's going on with the Yankees, I'm not saying I agree with him, but let's look at the first 28 games. How many different guys have made a start for the New York Yankees? The answer is 5.
Yeah.
Very uncommon.
I agree.
Teams usually have to go 6 deep, 7, 8, 8. Sometimes they got to go 9 deep.
I'm like, at some point they probably will.
Thursday, because of the doubleheader.
Fair enough. All right, so, but and you're going to hate this, but I'm going to play the game anyway, just for the caller's sake, because I'm sure there's other people that may have the same rhetoric that he has. If the Yankees played 500 ball.
No, don't do that.
Over the next 30 games.
Don't do that.
I'm not saying the rest of the season.
I hate that.
Just over the next 30 games.
You're right that I hate that.
To get him to the 60-game plateau. They're in first place by 5 games.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, but he's bothered by the lack of offense. Look, this is an offense that even though I still think they're top 5, top 4 in the American League in runs scored, they score 9 runs in a game and then go a week scoring 2 runs a day. And we've basically seen that over the last 4 games.
And by the way, it's frustrating and it's lifeless and it sucks. But you know what? 1,000 people, whatever the number was, that actually went to today's game or watched it on TV or listened on the radio, all left happy.
Well, yeah, but the question is, and you got to answer this too, is Jordan Montgomery going to pitch to a sub-3 ERA? Is Jameson Taillon going to pitch to a sub-3 ERA? Is Nestor Cortez going to pitch to a 1.3 ERA?
Yeah.
Is Aroldis Chapman not going to give up a run this season? Is Clay Holmes going to win like every week and have an ERA under 1? What? And I can see where that would be the concern, which is why they're going to have to hit more.
Yeah, but if you can, I view it as stealing wins. If you can steal wins when your offense is dormant,
sure,
that's only a positive sign.
I agree. The problem is you weren't shut down by aces. You were shut down by John Gray and Dane Dunning and Glenn Otto and the Texas Ranger bullpen. I think the Yankees are going to be fine because here's where I disagree with our last caller, and this is the feeling I've had for the last few weeks. They can really, really pitch.
Yeah.
Now, and maybe not to a 2.5 ERA, but the strength of the New York Yankees is that 1 through 13, they're better than you. They're better than any other team.
And we're playing against Kikuchi, tomorrow?
Well, he shut you down last time.
But that's not going to happen again. We just saw Kikuchi 4 days ago.
Right.
They're going to rake against Kikuchi. If not, then you got a problem with the offense. Kikuchi can't set you down twice in 6 days.
No, unacceptable.
That's not allowed.
Unacceptable.
Right, wouldn't you agree with me on that?
Yeah, you can't have that.
Since they own the guy prior to the last game against him.
You can't have Kikuchi shut you down again.
Kikuchi! Yeah, I like saying it like that. Makes me happy. Anyway.
I'm glad you're happy.
It's a fun way to say it.
I'm still annoyed about this Lou Lamoriello, Barry Trotz thing.
Yeah?
This is pissing me off.
Bothering you? Dude, the Islanders who didn't make the playoffs this year fired their coach?
No. Don't engage in this, because if you engage, I'll fire back. And then you're going to duck for cover.
I just want for cover. I don't care.
I'm going to just tell you a personal story.
Yeah, go ahead.
I took my youngest son to swim class. We had a great time.
To swim class?
Swim class, that's right.
And you were talking about bouginess? What?
I want to teach him how to swim so he doesn't drown. What's wrong with that?
Oh, golf's bougie. Tennis is bougie.
Yeah.
You take your kid to swim class?
Year-and-a-half-year-old to swim class. You're damn right.
Throw him in a pool.
I basically do, and then I catch him, make sure he can swim.
You don't need swim class,
Play with a bunch of toys.
Suburban bastard.
Well, the other thing I did, maybe suburban and bastardly, is I'm cutting my grass. And I'm having a great time. I'm on my John Deere tractor, and all of a sudden I get an update on my phone. And it's from Newsday. I'm like, Newsday?
Yeah.
Is Neil Best going to write about our ratings again? That's weird. Doesn't seem like the right time for that.
Yeah, next Monday.
Oh, okay. And then I see...
Big win.
And then I see on my phone, and I almost drove off my effing tractor.
God.
The Islanders have parted ways with Barry Trotz. I had to stop my freaking tractor.
Yeah.
And I had to say, what excuse me? Yeah. And so I started texting everybody I knew who cares about hockey. WTF.
Why do you bring your phone with you while you're mowing the lawn?
What if there's an emergency, Craig?
You're in your own backyard.
What if you need to call me and say, Evan, I can't make it today?
You don't return my calls or text messages.
Sometimes I do.
No, you don't.
I pick my spots.
Yeah, you did in the last 24 hours.
Well, when you call me on a Sunday, I don't care. When you call me on a Friday, I don't care. You call me on a Monday at about 10:30 a.m., I start to care.
Okay, so now I know.
And then I see that they've removed Barry Trotz as head coach. And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell kind of universe am I living in? Nash is fine. We're good with Nash. We're good. Stay over there. But Barry Trotz, who is the best coach in this town, who single-handedly, and yes, sorry, Lou, wasn't your roster management. He single-handedly took an Islander team that was 30th in defense, jumped the number one. They're sitting in the freaking conference finals. Then they go to another semifinals a year after the fact. Now he's gone because of one bad year where they were ravaged by COVID. And I know Lou's done this before. Oh, look what he did with the Devils. All right, go do it again then. Go win a Stanley Cup, big shot. You just had a head coach that took you to the brink of the Stanley Cup, and you can't wait to fire him because you got to put your hands all over this thing?
So I guess we are doing it now?
Makes no sense, Craig.
I thought maybe later you said.
You brought it up.
I didn't bring it up.
You brought
when
it up.
When did I bring it up?
You brought it up.
When?
You just did.
No, I didn't.
Because you started by saying, well, you know, they had a bad year.
All I said was you're bougie.
You know
giving your
what?
kid swim lessons.
You know what it was?
Teach your own kid how to swim.
I am. I'm in the pool with him. I looked at you. This is why it's your fault. I looked at you, and I sort of saw Barry Trotz in your head, and that's why I had to get to it. I mean, what are we doing?
Okay.
Like, what? The guy has done a fantastic... Oh, the voice needs to change. Such crap the voice needs to change.
Just let me know when you're done. Ooh, bounced his
The
wallet.
voice needs to change.
Yeah.
And I'm so sick of hearing about what Lou's done. Well, he's done this. Well, do it here now.
Yeah.
Because the best thing that's ever happened to the Islanders. No.
Yeah.
You know who got them to back-to-back conference finals?
Yeah.
Barry Trotz.
Well, Lou gets credit for it.
Well, for what?
For putting together the roster.
Tell me specifically what he did with the roster.
I have no idea.
Exactly. It was virtually the same roster that he took from one of the worst defensive teams in the league to one of the best defensive teams in the league.
Well, maybe if you made the playoffs this year, he'd still have a job.
All right, I'm done. I'm good now.
You good?
I feel better.
Got out of your system? Yeah, Yankees won 1-0 today. Cortez went 7 1/3. No hit ball, too. And then, of course, Aroldis Chapman comes in. And because the Rangers want to get to New York in the worst way possible, as fast as possible, he threw 6 consecutive balls out of the gate, and they swung at half of them.
It's true.
Legit. Like, what do you, I mean, have some baseball IQ.
Adolis Garcia. I think the first 2 pitches to Adolis Garcia were outside or high.
Close.
And 2-0, he's hacking.
Hacking away, Evan. Hacking away. We'll get all your calls if you're leaving the stadium, if you watch the game. Just the joy of watching a New York Yankee pitcher almost throw a no-hitter. Hi, SNY.